Sam.
Hey, Bryn, what's up?
So my mom just called me and she told me that my sister has diabetes, but she didn't tell me if it was type 1 or type 2. Do you know anything about it?
Actually, I learned about it the other day in class. So, type 1 is an autoimmune disease. So, whenever the pancreas, it secretes insulin into your blood, and so your blood glucose levels don't rise. So, the pancreas has cells in them that make the insulin, but the immune system destroys those cells, so there won't be any more insulin whenever it comes out. So you have to like take insulin like through shots or through Lantus and stuff like that, so that your like insulin levels or your glucose levels will be stable.
So what's insulin?
Insulin is the protein that keeps your blood glucose levels down, so it goes into the blood and gets some of the glucose out so that you don't have too high of blood glucose levels.
So what's the difference between type 1 and type 2?
Type 2 is, it usually occurs in older people, and it's either a genetic cause. Most common trigger is obesity. There's age, and so the most common is obesity because the fat slows down the insulin, so you don't get as much insulin to your blood, so that means that more glucose will stay in your blood. But do you know what kind of symptoms she's having? Because some of the symptoms for type 2 is like blurred vision, tingling and numb feet and hands, having to go to the bathroom all the time, wanting to eat all the time, really thirsty a lot.
Well, you said that type 2 occurred in old people or older people, so does that mean my sister has type 1?
Most likely, but it can still happen in younger kids if she's a bigger kid. So, like, if she's overweight, it's more possible that she has type 2 diabetes. But that can be reversed through better eating habits, more exercise, and just taking care of it. But if they don't take care of it, then type 2 can turn into a permanent thing. So throughout the day, type 2 diabetics might only have to take one shot in the morning and they'll be fine all day. But type 1 diabetics have to take shots almost every time they eat. So all in all, the way that the type 2 works is either she has resistant glucose to insulin ratio, she just isn't producing enough insulin, or the pancreas is now completely doesn't produce insulin anymore. So like this would be a normal person. This would be a normal person, and the insulin just goes right into it. Do you see that? Mm-hmm. And then this is the blood where the insulin isn't letting, or the blood isn't letting the insulin into it. Mm-hmm. So that would be what's happening with the insulin and the glucose levels. But most likely, if your sister is young and isn't big or is very active, then she probably has